He has his championship, and the Rock are NLL champions.
Well, it's Sunday night. It's 9 o'clock. Welcome to All Lacrosse Live, and here we are. Look at us. Oh, how sweet it is. How sweet it is. You brought out the jewelry for it, you know. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Damn it, I feel like a captain. Once again, congratulations, Toronto Rock. 7th championship in history. A tremendous showing by both teams tonight. And, man, we're going to get into all of that stuff in a few moments. But, wow, what an NLL final to finish off a fantastic year. But before we get rolling,
I'd like to point out that you've been wearing that captain's hat for longer than it took for Ronda Rousey to submit Gina Carano last night in that fight.
Mind you, most of those fights last night, I've been wearing it longer because most of those fights in the last 2 minutes. The longest fight of the night lasted 2 rounds. Not even 2 rounds, but hey, who's talking? You know, let's go back to happy things. Rock one. Remember, hey, here, Mike. Here's this one for you. There you go. I'm waiting 15 years for this now. They got to give me another patch on my jacket. That was the deal in 2014.
Yeah, yep. That's right.
Yeah. So now it's time to get on the phone with them first thing Tuesday morning going, when would you like my jacket? And the people there who weren't anywhere near there were going, huh? Jacket? Honestly, I'm the only one wearing one there now. So kind of funny. But, hey, you know, just a reminder to everybody that all of our shows are streamed live across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, also Twitch, and the next day on Spotify. Remember to hit subscribe, follow, and like buttons. Always share. Please enjoy all the affiliates across the Stream Punk Entertainment Network. If you missed a show, no worries. You can grab them all on YouTube, which include Stream Punk Cinema, Stream Punk Combat, as well as Stream Punk Sports, and, of course, All Lacrosse all the time, in which you will find retro games, interviews, library of shows, fights, press conferences, and so much more. Remember, you can stay up to date with all sports by visiting streampunkentertainment.com with great articles from our huge staff of contributors. Also, a reminder that our show is brought to you by 60. 60 is Canada's newest and most exciting sports uniform and teamwear brand, delivering top-quality uniforms and teamwear that reflects the spirit and identity of each team. Their commitment to innovation and excellence sets them apart, ensuring that every customer experiences the perfect blend of style and functionality. Unleash your greatness with 60. Remember to add LaxTalk10 for a 10% discount on your order. How do you get there? Well, the QR code in the center of our screen is a good one. If not, you can go to Instagram at sweet_60. You can go and email them at info.sweet60@gmail.com or go directly to their website at www.sweet60.ca/60. Forgive me. It's been 15 years since we won. A little disheveled. Kind of, oh boy. Just kind of, wow. Now, the Rock Rules jersey that came many, many years ago that was signed by all the guys this year just became a championship jersey. Nice. Like it when plans come together. Eduardo's with us. Eduardo, we hope you are well too. Things are pretty good here in Toronto.
Eduardo, you know Gary's well.
Yeah.
San Juan, Puerto Rico. I think things are doing very well for Eduardo today too. No standing toes, okay? Wow. Our pick'ems wound up in a tie. Shawn and Caden wound up tying. And that's gotta get this captain's hat off. I think we're back to Toronto Rock stuff. We do retro stuff, man.
And oddly enough, Shawn and Caden both tied last year for second place. Now they tied this year for first place. And you and Pat, who tied for first place last year, tied for second place this year.
Isn't that amazing? Pat, we got to step up our game, man. It took a 9-3 playoffs for me to get back in the running. So,
and I'd like to point out,
I probably bombed the playoffs.
Well, Mike took his spot there and he renovated. So the basement. I thought it was
the renovations is what got me over 500 this year.
Well, like I said, I thought it was very comfortable when I went down there for a little while. There was the renovations were very nice, very nice. Now remember a little bit of the wrestling thing. See, Jay cursed. I like that a lot. A little WWE in here with us. Oh man, Toronto Rock are your champions. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Shows you how easy you can move back bottom to top if you draft correctly and have some good draft picks. So now, can they stay on top? Can they repeat? It's a little early for that. We won. So looking forward to seeing the boys back probably tomorrow because they're probably painting all of Halifax red tonight, or red and blue. But anyways, just a few announcements because next week is the Gales party for their 80th anniversary over in Bowmanville. If you are anywhere near the area, please come by. 4 p.m. alumni game, 5 p.m. alumni versus the children, 6 p.m. refreshments provided by Chown Brewery at the Garnet B. Brickard Arena. 7 p.m. Aquasasne against the Green Gales. If you are a Gale, please bring any of your old stuff for viewing memorabilia stuff. Also, please RSP so that you can get your gift as being an alumni. It's going to be a great night. There'll be lots of things on sale of Gales things as well. I also heard that the Gales are going to be returning to the Rubeski tournament. They didn't have a team there this year, but they are going to be returning to the Rubeski next year. So look out. They will be coming. And while we're in that part of the province, the following week is Lacrosse Day for our champions, May 30th, up at Peterborough at the Memorial Center. Beginning at 9 in the morning, members of Lacrosse Peterborough. 4:30, Legends of Lacrosse. That's always fun to have that game. And then the thing that you don't want to miss at Sticks across the street from Memorial at 7 p.m. is Storytime by the Legends. Free admission, donations are appreciated. You can't beat the price, guys. Also a reminder that Paralacrosse, the launch day is June 5th over in Scarborough in Variety Village, 3701 Danforth Avenue in Scarborough. If you are available from 2 to 7, it will be there. So please give them a little bit of support. Everybody's welcome to register if you can. And if not, go over and watch them, support them. Fantastic. Well, like I said, the Toronto Rock won, amazingly enough. But it didn't come easy. Friday night, the Rock found themselves down 9-5 at the half and really were, beaten around for most of that first half. In fact, the way I put it to people around me and the way I put it to you guys, if I remember right, was that Halifax was playing playoff ball while Toronto was playing regular season ball because the referees' whistles were in their pockets, short of a decapitation. And adjustments, which Toronto's not known for, well, they made all the adjustments in the second half, outscoring Halifax 8-2, taking it to them entirely in the second half. The only 2 goals were both Cody Jamieson goals. One was on a power play. One was even strength. But that was it for their offense. And Toronto just flipped the script altogether. And they came away with a 13-11 victory that night. Of note, Sam English continues this unbelievable run with just a fantastic game on both sides of the ball. But all of the Toronto Rock defense have to be commended on what they were doing from the halfway point of game 1 through the end of game 2. Because if you want to see a frustrated bunch, take a look at the offense for Halifax. They just couldn't get anything generated in either of the games from the midway point of the first game onward. We come into this game, and this one was more of a heart stopper through the first half of 2 goals up for Toronto, tied Halifax. Another goal up, tied. Halifax goes up, Toronto comes back, goes up by a couple, 8-6 at the half. Then the defenses step up. Only 2 goals were scored, 1 per side in the third quarter, and Halifax was shut out in the fourth quarter with 3 big goals later on in the second half in the fourth quarter. First, from T.J. Kirst with an absolute laser beam from the opposite side that caught the short side, followed by Chris Boucher with an absolutely highlight reel dive across the crease. And Latrell Harris just with the dagger empty net goal to seal the deal. And Toronto is the champion. Thoughts, guys? Shawn, let's start with you.
I kind of look things with Halifax and in game 2 here. I saw too many mistakes, too many turnovers. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for Warren Hill in this one, I mean, he was a brick wall throughout that game.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I don't take anything away from Nick Rose. He played excellent as well, but he saw the shots he needed to see, where Hill had to almost literally have to stand on his head on this one. And if it wasn't for him, this would have been ugly, 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 because Halifax just looked like that 8th ranked team in this game too, as far as I was concerned.
Right. Well, taking a look at, I mentioned the Rock rookies. Every one of them scored. No one else had a hat trick. Like, talking about drafting well. But also, not just those rookies. Lucas Raquel, he got a goal. His first one ever. What a time to do that. Hugh Kelleher was on fire in this game. Everybody ramped up their game. If anybody had any doubt about this team, well, character wins cups. I don't know how many times I've said that over the years. And you just saw a team full of character. And the way they played defense and shut everything down, let alone a couple of goals that were disallowed, with toenails on the crease. Man, they were close. But, I thought the refs did a fantastic job in this game. I thought the 3 of them didn't impede on play, but they did call things that needed to get called. I was a little iffy on the first game of things, not getting called, because basically you had to commit a felony before you were going to get a call. And things got really rough, including that little brouhaha at the end, sending messages for game 2. But I thought absolutely the reffing in the NLL over this finals series overall was spectacular. And I can't take anything away from any one of them. I thought they were fantastic, and the crews put together were literally the best of the best. Mike, thoughts on this from you?
Yeah, I'll echo Shawn's comments. I mean, that's what stood out most to me was just careless play by Halifax. I mean, it's only 6 penalty minutes. They were 2 for 2 on the power play. So you're thinking, okay, hey, they're finally playing disciplined, and then they kind of get undone by another lack of discipline, if you will. And just, passes aren't crisp, turning balls over, losing loose ball fights that they probably should have won. Just all the little things that kind of that lead to basically, Toronto would capitalize on all of those mistakes.
Right.
So, and if there's any concern now with, as far as I'm concerned with Halifax, it's how open is that window at this point? I know they have young guys, but the veterans are starting to get where we can almost kind of start saying the same thing about this group of veterans as we've been saying about the group of veterans in Buffalo for several years now. That how
Right.
much longer are we, how much longer is the band going to stay together with guys like, Cody Jamieson, Randy Stotts, Graham Hossick, and the like.
Well, they're close, but they're not there. And again, like Shawn said, they look like an 8th place team today when the rubber hit the road. And I don't know, but you take a look at the teams they beat to get here, and it's astounding how well they did. But you can't have a night off in this league.
Well, you can't deny who they beat. I mean, they earned their spot. There's no doubt about that. Like,
absolutely. And they also faced adversity after they got the doors blown off 21-10 to Georgia. I thought they were done for game 3, and they came back and beat them. Kudos for that. But, here, they played a really solid first half of the first game. And from that point on, not to sound biased or a homer or any of that stuff, probably do anyways, but the cream rose to the top. The better team won. I've said that with the Bandits winning before. I've said that with Saskatchewan. I've said that when Georgia, with the better team, won. And, kudos to Jamie Dawick for putting together this squad. I can't wait to see what happens with the 2 first-round picks that are coming. And remember, Ty English comes, let alone what they're picking in this draft. So just another piece to this this rebuild. I don't know. Glenn Clark said it. We kind of screwed up in our rebuild of 5 years happened in the first year, and we made it to the finals, and everybody kept expecting it. Well, these guys won in their first year of rebuild. So what do we expect in year 2? Flat? Or do we expect? Also, what do we expect out of Nick Rose next year? He's now got that elusive championship. Do you be like Whipper Watson and go, that's it, I'm done? Leave on top? Or do you come back again? Because I'll tell you what, and we said it through the show, I said it a number of times, and you guys have echoed it. From the time Nick Rose came back from his injury, he hasn't looked better. He has been on top of his game entirely, beating all the teams he had to beat. He had 1 loss from the time he came back from injury, and that was that debacle in Philadelphia, that Sunday, whatever that was, Sunday Bloody Sunday. And then the Seals won in the playoffs, also an afternoon game. Note to self, don't play them in the afternoon. Other than that, he had been lights out. And the saves he was making in both of these games, as well as the San Diego series, were spectacular. Yeah, he got a lot of things. The defense let him have the shots he needed. But a lot of these saves were things that he had to move all over the place and made some incredible saves. You think about one in the 4th tonight, where it was just absolutely spectacular save just after Toronto went up 3. Could have changed all the momentum. Still a lot of time left in the game. Timing saves. But,
yeah, I mean, I'll go back to game 1 in the first half when Halifax was already up.
Hey, Dave, good to have you with us.
2 consecutive chances Cody Jamieson had on the doorstep, and Rose just stoned him. And then a 3rd chance, maybe a few possessions after that, with Cody Jamieson again hitting the crossbar.
Yep. Well, I started feeling that
I'm just saying, give those 3 goals to Halifax, and maybe
Well,
this
Toronto
win
hit a
is
number of bars
maybe
too,
maybe
right?
this win is forcing Game
Yeah.
3 instead of seeing
Like I
Toronto
said,
raise
Toronto
the
hit
bar.
a couple of bars as well, but that's part of the goalie equipment. I knew the goalie gods were with them as soon as I started seeing them ring off the post. When Mike Robinson hit the one that was right at the junction, I
Yeah.
knew the goalie gods were with him. Because how many times do you see that?
Yeah.
But we also had awards given from the NLL, just kind of off to the side there, kind of, hey, here's your award.
You don't care now. You're raising the cup.
Yeah, I'm raising
There's
the
only
cup.
one award that counts, right?
It doesn't hurt as much. Actually, media person of the year, Grant Perro. If you've ever been on NLLstats.com or read him on NLL Chatter, there's no one of that group that was more deserving of that award than Grant Perro. And I sent him a note when he won, and I really love what he does with all that. That's the site to go to if you need up-to-date stats, or you need stuff from yesteryear, or you need anything else. That is just a spectacular site. And he's done amazing work for a number of years. And it's great to see him get recognition. Yeah, it happened to be in the year I got nominated too, but he is worthy of this award. Absolutely. So, congratulations to Graham, and well deserved. We move into sportsmanship award, and it was Ryan Keenan. And again, very well deserved. Shawn, you can speak of this more than us, of what a great guy he is,
Absolutely.
on and off the floor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just an outstanding person, like you said, on and off the floor, and is a true leader as well as on and off the floor. And definitely deserving of that award for sure.
Right. Teammate of the year went to Luke Magnan, and Ottawa didn't really have that much to cheer about this year, but what a nice move that was to get him over there. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree. Get that veteran presence on the defense.
Right. Now, executive of the year, I actually myself, I voted for Steve Dietrich, just from what Buffalo did with all the moves to bring him from basically being a seller to actually vying for, and a number of us believing that they would maybe have that outside chance to four-peat. And Jonah Haas of the Las Vegas Desert Dogs won executive of the year. And looking at how that team came from where they were to where they are, I agree that it is there, but it's now to see what they do from here. Right. But he definitely was able to, spearhead what was going on, and with work with Sean Williams and see what was going on, and move the team much further to where they need to be. I love this one. General Manager of the Year was Brad Self. And, man, if you looked at the Mammoth this year, unreal for the majority of this year. Of course, until he got upset in the playoffs. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, and making the move for Jack Hanna. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Sean, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, that and the trade for Andrew Q.
Yeah.
So,
but that works part and parcel with Coach of the Year that went to Pat Coyle. And I really nobody feared a team more than the Colorado Mammoth during the year. Even when they hit their little bit of a sputter, they still were on the verge of doing something crazy. But, when they were on that 7-game win streak, they were just white hot. And this came out of, basically, if you remember back in training camps, Coyle and Self had 2 full squads of guys that they were looking at and trying to figure out places for them. And the team that he chose out of those 40 or 50 people that were there was the right choices. And I think that team is set up for success for a number of years to come. We move into the yawn of the awards, and that's Goaltender of the Year. Who didn't pick Brett Dobson? The man had under an 8 goals against average for the year. He was just absolutely spectacular. Kind of what we've seen in him in field. We've seen now him in box. And watching from when he came in to replace Craig Wendy a number of years ago to where he is now. He is skyscraper away from that goaltender to where he is now. He is just, right away he puts the offense at a disadvantage because they're gripping their sticks hard because they know what they're up against when he's in net. Defensive player of the year goes to Callum Jones. Now, remember last summer we were talking, wondering if he's coming back with the injury he sustained at MSL play. And not only did he come back, but he came back and was spectacular on the Black Bears defense. Shawn, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I have no arguments with that one. He had an outstanding year for sure.
Right. Mike?
I feel sorry for Brad Cree. This is like the fourth or fifth time he's been a finalist and has lost out.
I don't think he's hurting too badly right
a couple to his teammates, but yeah, certainly hoisting the cup is
it's a remedy for a lot of things.
Yep.
Now, transition of the player of the year is Zach Currier, and if anybody watched the Toronto-San Diego semifinal, Zach Currier was in on everything, whether it be a defensive play, an offensive play. He was in there as much as Wes Berg was. And a big, big reason why San Diego was able to make that push along the way to get into the playoffs and actually make some noise. Mike?
Yeah, I mean he's the ultimate. I think he's the ultimate Swiss Army knife in the league, if you will. I mean, he can do everything.
Yeah.
That's why I find this one choice interesting. Yeah, that's why I find this one interesting is just because he played a lot out with the front door this year.
It's true,
but it's kind of that reverse transition more.
Well, you always have one of those guys. Challen Rogers does that in Toronto. Courier over there. Kostiuk would be the closest I've seen with Halifax to be able to do it on both sides and do it well. So, and of course, our offensive player of the year, Keegan Ball. What didn't he accomplish this year? Shawn?
He took a big step forward, like big step forward. And I think that's something Vancouver really needed. And numbers he put out this year were ridiculous and well-deserving.
Right. Rookie of the year.
Do you wonder?
There you go. God, I like that. That's fun. CJ Curse. And really, was there much of a doubt?
No.
But hey, what more can you say on something like that, right? MVP. Mr. Dobson again, yeah?
Yeah, second time in 4 years now that goalie has won MVP. So, but both times I think they've been well deserved.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And really, when you take a look at how much he meant to that team, we need not go any further than that first game against Buffalo when they stuffed him in the box for 5 minutes and things went haywire.
Yep.
And then the rest of the season, nobody could get by him. But then we look at the all-rookie team. And, the all-rookie team, eyesight isn't that good. Of course, Michael Grace, who unfortunately had a big injury that kind of, I think, dashed Georgia's hopes. I think if he was healthy, they might have gotten by Halifax. But
I'd agree with that. Remember, they didn't have Nolan Byrne for Game 3 either.
Right. Well, Nolan Byrne was also on the all-rookie team, of course. From the Rock, you had three of them. You had Owen Hiltz, Sam English, and C.J. Kirst. Gee, the 1, 2, and 3 picks. And, of course, Jackson Fridge, who was a guest on the show a few weeks back. Fantastic. In a year where Oshawa didn't have a great year, he was a bright spark on both sides of the ball. And
Absolutely.
was starting to really get a good feel for things, and look forward to seeing what he's going to do over the next little while. We moved to the all NLL first team, and of course, you have Dane Smith. You have Keegan Ball. Callum Jones is on that team. Well, there's Brad Cree. Didn't win the defensive award, but he's on the team. Zach Currier, and of course, Brett Dobson. Not a bad line. But
I'm going to wait for you to finish before I bring up my little pick. Keep going.
The floor is yours.
No. Keep going with the second team. Then we'll start.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Well, let me just keep sliding along here. I don't have the second team here, Mike.
That's all right. I got it punched up here. So we've got Andrew Q, Jeff Teat, and then for defensemen we got Ryan Dilks and Mitch DeSnew. Your transition player Jordan McIntosh, and your goalie Christian Del Bianco. And here's my bone to pick, which you could pick it, you could leave it alone. Tanner Cook led the league in goals, not on either team. Connor Fields, second in the league in points, not on either team. Now, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, boy, those are two pretty big snubs. Thinking about it a little more, who you're going to replace on those teams. If there's, I guess my stance is if there's anyone's that you're going to replace, listen, I get it's hard to replace Jeff Teat. He's arguably the best player in the league. But, much like Cook and Fields and their teams, his team didn't make the playoffs either. Dean Smith, it's tough to swap him out, considering he was in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. He was in the running for MVP. And, let's face it, he pretty much carried the Bandits from that spot where they were 4-6, to the playoffs. He was kind of the one constant out of everyone on that team through the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it just rubs me a bit wrong that you don't have the leading goal scorer who, was one goal shy of a 50-goal season, which, you don't need much more than your fingers and toes to count the number of 50-goal seasons in 40 years of this league's existence. So, and a guy who's second overall in points, and who was the MVP last year. And I'm not looking necessarily for a remedy to this, but I just it's oof.
And I see, Mike, I see that. I don't buy anyone saying the excuse they're not a playoff team, because Callum Jones is there, right? He's was not a playoff team, but I guess where I'm sitting is, who do you take off? There's just so much talent in this league. And I look at kind of like Dane Smith too, just because yes, he maybe did, put Buffalo on his back during that streak. But I don't know if he's still that dominant player that he once was.
Right.
Yeah, it is odd because I mean, I won't fully agree with that point, but I can see where that comes from because it almost feels like it was a significantly down year for him when it really wasn't. But it just has that feel to it, maybe because, despite the win streak and everything, it just, I don't know. Like, maybe just because it wasn't the feel of, him always being in the spotlight every single game. It was more just, hey, I'm the consistent guy. I'm the one who's putting up, 2 and 5 every night for 10 straight weeks to help us make the playoffs, versus, hey, I'm not the one who, scoring the sock trick. And I mean, I can see making the argument too for swapping out Andrew Q, just because he missed a number of games. But anyone could take that same logic and reverse it and say, hey, if he plays a full 18 game season, extrapolate those numbers, and he's probably MVP, and he's probably Offensive Player of the Year, considering what he put up in the limited number of games that he played.
Right. Valid points, but there's only so many
spots
around.
Spots, yeah.
So hey, I'm just going to give honorable mention: Tanner Cook, Connor Fields.
Thanks, Brian.
You guys had phenomenal seasons despite your teams, falling short of the postseason. Just, I'm going to give my shout out to the two of them.
Right. So Brian Cole is with us, and thank you, Brian, for the thing. Like you say, gotta celebrate. It's heavy. It wasn't so warm around here. I had to put my jacket on. But hey, finally we're into the 70s or 80s here, so I'll take it. Tomorrow is bread and cheese game. Always have to be in shorts for that game up in Six Nations. So, Mike, it's chicken wrap time now, eh?
Get the counter out. Let's go.
Start the counter.
Yeah.
We had Six Nations Hamilton yesterday in a game that we only haven't met since the semifinals when Six Nations eliminated Hamilton, and ironically, a move that was made earlier in the week, where Braden Saris was picked up for a year by Six Nations Rivermen for a cash consideration for the year, and then he'll go back to Brooklyn. But he played a big role in Six Nations coming from behind to beat Hamilton 9-8. So right away, a deal that pays dividends. Brian, you can get Molson anywhere, man. Yeah, bring us some IPAs from here. Get some real beer. Never mind this nonsense of every generic beer. I can give you an empty can, and you wouldn't know a Budweiser from a Canadian from a Blue. It wouldn't make a difference. Now, gonna give me a Yingling. Don't bring me up a case. That's fine. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, we only have 2 games in the OSL this week, and Ross Hill's got the winning goal for the Rivermen in that victory. Jake McNabb had a huge day for Owen Sound, beating Belleville on Saturday afternoon. He scored 4 as Owen Sound beat Belleville up in Owen Sound 8-5. And what more can I say about that? It was actually 5-5 after 2 periods. And stifling defense and searing offense is what won the game for Owen Sound. Again, McNabb, Connor Moran, he had 5 points in the game, a goal and 4 assists. And he wound up giving the insurance marker in the third, finishing a Jordan Cascanet pass. And then Tyson Morrison with the dagger, and 8-5 was the final. Just to take a look at the standings to this point after week 3, Six Nations is up there at 3 wins, no losses. Brooklyn 2 wins, no losses. Owen Sound 2 wins and 1 loss. Hamilton 1-1. Collingwood's only played 1 game; they've lost. Belleville 0-3. Ennismore 0-2. But we have a full slate of games going on this coming weekend, and that is Saturday with 3 games: Owen Sound at Collingwood, Six Nations at Ennismore, Brooklyn at Belleville, and Sunday in the later afternoon, Collingwood visits Brooklyn for a rare Sunday afternoon game. So lots of things going on in the OSL. In the MSL, I mentioned it briefly, and the season opens tomorrow with the bread and cheese game, Owen Sound over into Six Nations. Curious to see who is going to be on the Six Nations team, since a few of them played today. I don't think they're flying in tomorrow for the game, but still going to be a powerful squad. On Thursday, there are 2 games. That's Brooklyn at Brampton. Six Nations up in Peterborough. That's going to be a barn burner. If you have a chance to make it up to the Memorial Center, you're not going to want to miss that game. Six Nation plays 3 games in the first week. Talk about a crazy schedule. Because on Sunday, they're in Coburg to face the Kodiaks as well. And that is MSL for this week, as we will have much more on them starting this coming week. Stick with us. We will have all the recaps. And I don't know if all of you realize this, but I was earlier in the week appointed onto the board of directors for Major Series Lacrosse, as well as the director of media, social media, as well as doing the Ontario Series Lacrosse. So all of senior lacrosse in Ontario is now under my tutelage. So go team. So
Excellent.
If I didn't do a lot of miles already last summer, we're going to be doing a lot of miles. But look forward to seeing everybody at the arenas. And look forward to chatting with everybody, because I always enjoy the conversations, because it's so great to see everybody. So looking forward to all of that. Lots of things on the go. Now, remember, the Flow Sports is streaming the MSL games. It is a paywall. And a season costs, I believe, $200 and something for the entire year. Now, you can do it month by month, which is $40 US plus taxes. So your better deal is to do the year. Now, there's lots of other sports on there as well, including lots of other college lacrosse stuff. So, yeah, you may not need it for the next little while, but down the road, if you want to watch some, there's lots of it on there as well. So it's not just looking at it for the 2 or 3 months for MSL. So have a look at it. If you go onto the MSL site, you'll also see where it says how to watch. Hopefully the link works. I'm hearing it goes you to the MSL YouTube page, but hey, cut and paste it. It will work. I tried it earlier. But anyways, that's how that's going to be working out. When it comes down to the Mann Cup, apparently that's still up in the air. Lacrosse Canada wants to do it on a free stream, but things are still debating back and forth on how that's going to work, whether it goes under the East tutelage, just like the West would have it under WLA TV. The East would like to have it under the pay window here for Flow. And we'll, as we know, we'll let you know. But that'll bring us on over to PLL, guys. And looking at the pick'ems, boy, we should stick with NLL. Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to highlight the 0-4, Shawn. Sorry.
Yeah.
But Mike, what are you doing up on the top there?
Yeah, what the heck?
You know, we are
It's
officially
bizarro,
in the
man.
we are officially in the upside down.
Well, yeah. 3 of us are tied for second or last, depending on how you want to look at it. With sub 500 records, something we never did in the NLL. Just goes to show you, eh? But hey, what can you say? Well, Mike, start us off with some of this wonderful, wonderful PLL stuff.
Oh, all right.
Actually, Shawn, so was Shawn, were you the first game?
I was going to say, you want to start with my game, the first one of the weekend?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, so the
Mine's easy.
yeah,
No goals.
sure. Chaos comes away with a 14-10 win over the Cannons, and really it was a fourth quarter collapse from Boston that really kind of cost them in this one. Honestly, Carolina was up 5-1 early in the second quarter, but then a big 2-point goal from Jeff Trainer kind of really put them back in the game. They were trailing 7-6 after 2. And heading into the second half, they actually were able to tie up the game. Again, with a big goal from Kelly to make it 8-8. Scott scores late, and we get a 9-8 lead for Carolina. Heading into the final quarter, they tie it, Carolina goes up by 2 with Jackson Eicher scoring. But again, another 2-point goal by Coulter McKessie, and you're tied 10-10. But then it's 4 goals straight from the Chaos to close it out. So really, Boston and the Cannons were just right in this one till the end, and then they just kind of collapsed in the last 9.5 minutes or so. They just kind of lost control of it. Just kind of looking at the stats here. Again, Jackson Eicher had a 4-goal night. Brendan Necturne had 3 goals and an assist. I had 2 goals from Shane Knobloch, and Aslania had a goal and a 2-point goal for the Chaos. For the Cannons, McKessie had a goal, a 2-point goal, and 3 assists for 6 points. But after that, it kind of really fell off. Jeff Trainer had the 2-point goal and assist. Marcus Holman had a pair of goals. He had a pair of assists from Asher Nolting. But you really, especially guys like Nolting and Holman, I think you kind of expect a little bit more out of them from the Cannons.
Right. Well, we kind of expected Carolina to have a little bit more, since they kind of imploded last week against Atlas. Really should have found a way to win that game. So they kind of got the needle back up to the end. Wouldn't you say that, Mike?
Yeah, not without some concern though. Blaze Reardon played the first half in net, and then Austin Kaut took over in the second half, and sounded like Blaze had some sort of injury to his hand near the end of the first half. So that'll be something we'll have to watch to see if it kind of becomes a lingering problem as the season goes on.
That
Fortunately,
could be a big loss,
yeah. Fortunately, the whole league is off next week, so he has 2 weeks to recover before week 3 in Baltimore.
Right. All right. So we head on over to the Atlas, kind of playing against the Maryland Whipsnake. I gotta give a shout out, and that is, of course, to Emmett Carroll in net for Maryland. And man, this guy was just unbelievable. I think at one point he had a 75% save percentage, but they couldn't beat him. Yeah, they couldn't beat him at all. At all. He was just the answer for it. He finished with a 75%. I think at one point it was at 80. but 18 saves on the day. It's not like he didn't face anything. But, the Maryland used a dominant middle stretch to pull away, in which it looked like Atlas went to sleep, where they scored 1 goal in two quarters. Mind they didn't do so well on the outer ones in first and 4. They only got 5 there, but they went absolutely to sleep in the middle ones. But Maryland, to their credit, pretty steady offensive thing. 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, and 1 just going on home. But Maryland, convincing 12-6 victory. They struck first just 7 seconds into the game. Petey LaSalle opened the scoring, but Reed Bowering answered for New York just over a minute later. Aiden Carroll restored the Whipsnakes lead before Matt Traynor blasted home the equalizer at 6:38. Maryland closed the quarter with momentum as LaSalle and Carroll scored 1:16 apart to give the Whipsnakes a 4-2 lead after 1. Maryland continued to dictate play in the second quarter. Carroll completed a 4-goal performance with 2 more tallies, including 1 off a feed from TJ Malone. Matt Brando added a power play marker from Rob Pennell, extending the Maryland lead to 7-2 at the half. The Whipsnakes kept rolling in the third quarter with unanswered goals from Adam Poitras, Pennell, and Truett Sutherland to build a commanding 10-2 lead, and for all intents and purposes, ran through the fourth, just kind of la-di-da. Bowery scored with his 12 seconds remaining in the third for New York, but LaSalle answered 7 seconds later to immediately halt any of the Atlas momentum. Nothing like a fine exclamation point. Going, yep, we're going to have something in the fourth. Oh, no, we're not.
Yeah, and especially after that goal, it's a highlight goal of the weekend.
Yeah. New York showed a little bit of pushback in the fourth as Traynor and Brian Kostiuk scored back-to-back goals early in the period, but Maryland responded once again with Poitras finding the back of the net. Connor Schellenberger scored with 15 seconds left for Atlas, but that was way too little, way too late. And again, the Whipsnakes cruised to a 12-6 victory. My 3 stars of this thing was, of course, Aiden Carroll, Petey LaSalle, and Emmett Carroll as the three stars. They just dominated the defending champion Atlas. Now, once again, how different is this team when you don't have Jeff Teat quarterbacking at all?
Oh, night and day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you don't have to worry about that and you can just concentrate on the outside stuff, there really isn't a whole lot to hope. But, there's always next week.
And let's I'd also add to that, no Trevor Baptiste either. So
True, yeah.
That's true. He'll be back next week too. So
2 weeks from now.
Right. All right, Mike.
That
That brings us
in 2 weeks.
Let's hope. So we go to Denver, California, in the only game that really kept my attention to the scoreboard because man, all the other games were kind of like, yeah, let's go be doing something else.
Yeah, Redwood's looking to go 2-0, but the Outlaws escape with a 10-9 win. Really 2 big runs. California had a 6-3 lead after 1. Denver shuts them out in the second quarter with a 4-goal run to take a 7-6 lead at halftime. After Braden Maye scores a second to open the second half and tie the game at 7, the Outlaws go on another 3-goal run and then hang on in the fourth as they get blanked. And we'll get to more of those fourth quarter woes soon, league wide so far this season. For Redwoods, Maye had a hat trick. Aiden Denenza with a pair of goals. You had Andrew McAdory, Chris Merle, Josh Balkersell each had a goal. Mikey Bame, a goal and 2 assists. Dylan Malloy held to just 2 assists. Dylan Ward, 15 saves for the Redwoods in net. On the Outlaws side, you had 4 different players scoring 2 goals. Jared Bernhardt, Logan Wisnauskas, Justin Anderson all had 2 goals and an assist. Zach Geddes had 2 goals. He had a goal from face-off specialist Luke Weirman and Jonathan Donville as well. Brendan O'Neill held to just 2 assists, and Graham Bundy held without a point in this game. Logan McNaney, 15 saves. Both teams are 1-1 now. But getting into that fourth quarter woe before we get to the last game. Been through 2 weeks now, and 16 possible chances for a team to score 1 goal or less in the fourth quarter, and we are at a 50% rate right now. We've had 8 instances out of 16 of a team scoring 1 or less goals in the fourth quarter. So it was we thought that trend was bad last year. Right now it's looking even worse. And we'll add that some of these games, some of these instances were both teams scoring 1 or less goals in the fourth quarter in the same game. So we do have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 out of 8 of those instances. The team that struggled in the fourth still managed to win. So that's an interesting trend as well.
Yeah.
Most certainly. Well, yeah, it's funny, eh, Mike? You mentioned it. Everybody's 1-1 now, eh? After week 1.
Yeah. Talk about parity.
Every single team. And that includes Pat's Philadelphia Water Dogs.
Well, you see, I was hoping Pat was going to make it on the show because you can watch the hairline actually turn around. You just like a hat by the time he's done. But
I'm going to chalk that up to Pat's not here because he's trying to find himself 11 lacrosse players in his neighborhood. Similar to finding 11 soccer players in his neighborhood to take on the Union.
I have a thought. Maybe we'll put the Union on lacrosse sticks and we're going to put some soccer balls with the Water Dogs. By the way, they are going to get CJ Kirst back real soon. So,
who scores more goals next week, the Union or the Water Dogs?
Ouch.
Well, I threatened Pat with death and dismemberment earlier in the week because, I thought that when he did his Philly sports power rankings that he should have had Water Dogs top 2. And thank you for proving me wrong, Pat, by not putting them in your top 2 because 19-5, they fall to the Cannons, who were playing the back end.
I think we were down 2-0 in the national anthem.
Yeah.
I think they were down already.
Just not good all the way around. They just they honestly, for a team that was playing a team that was on their second game of the weekend, the Water Dogs were the ones who looked like they were in cement or molasses or something similar. Jake Taylor, a goal and an assist. Connor Kelly had a 2-point goal. And then you had solo efforts from Kieran McArdle and Thomas McConvey. Michael Sowers held the 2 assists. Matt DeLuca, just 7 saves on the night. He was replaced by Sean Byrne at the end of the game.
All the big name goalies all had rough weeks, eh? Antiman, DeLuca, all had rough weeks.
Yeah, Dylan Ward.
Trade Ward, hashtag.
It's already happened once this year. More than enough.
Hey, Rose got traded twice in the same year last year. And he comes back to that team and wins a cup.
True. If there was any bright spot for the Water Dogs, Connor Farrell, 12 of 21 at the dot. Cannons, I mean, what can't you say? way to bounce back from that collapse against the Chaos the night before. Marcus Holman, 4 goals, 2 assists. Brian Kelly had a hat trick and 2 assists. Matt Campbell, a goal, a 2-point goal, and an assist. Mick Kelly had 2 goals and an assist. You had a goal and a 2-point goal from Coulter Mackesy. Colin Kirst, 16 saves, just unreal. Just big saves too. I mean, Water Dogs did have some quality looks in this game, but Kirst was there just at seemingly every turn. And I don't know that I can fault the Water Dogs defense. They just, it just seemed like, they were playing tough, but, you have Slides just coming just, a moment too late, and it just kind of kept on adding up. But, obviously Cannons, you're getting away with the split and you got to feel good about how you were clicking at the end.
Well, yeah, this was an emphatic performance. This was telling everybody that don't pay attention to the other one. This one is where we're at. And everything clicked for them. There really wasn't any part of that game that I could say that, well, maybe they could. Everything worked for them in this game. It's how do they bring it in 2 weeks' time to Maryland? And playing Maryland in the first game that will make me wonder if this is for real. Because, again, Maryland's coming off a big week, too.
Yeah.
They've got 2 tough games this week. That's in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to have Whip Snakes will be, again, it's week 3 in Baltimore 2 weeks from now. It's Whip Snakes homecoming. They have the Cannons Friday night, and then they have the Archers on Saturday night.
Right.
And
now, New York, do they want to look like donkeys on national television because their game's on ABC? So you're gonna
that's a championship rematch against Denver. So
exactly, and they're gonna want to put their best foot forward.
Yep.
Denver is going to want to do the same after their performance this week too, right? So it's going to be interesting. Utah against Maryland, another big time game. The Archers, they looked pretty good last week with a week to rest, and here we are. So actually with 2 weeks to rest. So will they be rusty? We're only 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, but the difference is Archers might get some guy named Brett Dobson back.
That's a big part.
That's huge. Yeah.
I heard he won a couple of awards earlier, but not sure. Rumors.
Yeah.
We're talking PLL, so we can't talk about that. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, but we can certainly talk about him being a 2-time PLL Finals MVP.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Last I checked, that carried some weight.
Now, we have Carolina, who looked great this week, against Philadelphia, who looked like they didn't show up this week. They're going to face each other in the late game. So, what kind of Philadelphia team do we get? They should have CJ Kirst back.
Yep.
But the rest of the guys were there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that'll be a plus. Hopefully someone checked on Bill Tierney because he looked like he was about to have a coronary on the sideline after that performance.
Yeah. Right.
Keep playing the guy.
Yeah. If he's back to 100%, there's no reason the rest of the guys shouldn't be at 100% and ready to go. Right. So, I mean, one thing I guess I would point out, how much this really affected how they played or not, I don't know, but they were without Dylan Hess and Matt Witcher. So those are two pretty significant, guys to go down for a Water Dogs team that needs to be pretty precise on their defense, especially.
Well, it's funny because all the stuff that Pat was gloating about last week, they didn't bother doing it all this week.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it did seem to fly out the window, but
They saw Pat Happy, and they just started. Oh, can't have that. Pat Happy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this can be, just as much of a wake up call for them. That hey, you can't just let your foot off the gas, just because you won your opener.
Well, yeah, there are 11 other games, right?
Exactly.
So, unless you want to be doing that last weekend shuffle to see if you can get into the playoffs, which most times doesn't work very well, maybe do that earlier. But heck of a week, guys. Heck of a week. And we stick a fork into NLL for 25-26. We start looking towards, again, summer ball. Shawn, there was some Western stuff going on, wasn't there?
Yeah. Hold on a second. I gotta get it up here.
But yeah, we're looking at a full slate of summer ball going on now. WLA starts up again next week as well.
WLA starts right up right away here, and I'm just getting up the Prairie Gold stuff right now here because we did have some junior and senior B going on in Saskatchewan here. So let's get up the standings here because we're a few weeks in here. You cut me a little off guard, sorry, Carrie. But just in the junior B side of things, the new team actually, the Winnipeg Blizzard, are leading the standings right now after 6 games. They're 4-2. They're tied with the Swift Current Wolverines at 4-3. Then you have the Moose Jaw Mustangs at 3-2. Prince Albert Predators are 2-1, and then the Weyburn Razorbacks are 0-5. So they're kind of cruising along there. And in the senior B division, a little bit of a weird schedule going on there because a few teams haven't even played. Well, actually, one team hasn't played yet, and it's, I think, the team everyone's looking forward to, the Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux. Because we know there'll be a few Rush players on that. Plus, Jeff Shatler always brings a nice team going there. But I guess Saskatoon Brewers, again, I don't think it's a big surprise. They're usually the kind of the next competition to the Standing Buffalo. They're 5-0. Their Regina Heat are 2-1. Again, Winnipeg has a new team with their senior B. They're 1-2. Saskatoon SWAT are 0-1. Moose Jaw Mafia, another new team to the league. I really look forward to seeing some of their games this season. They're 0-2, and the Prince Albert Outlaws are also 0-2. And then, as Gary was mentioning, WLA is ramping up here right away here this weekend.
Right. Now, Mike, we also had some WLL going on this past weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, the inaugural game of the Women's Lacrosse League happened this past weekend. We had the New York Charging defeating the Boston Guards 17-12. First ever regular season goals scored by who else? Charlotte North. She finished with 2 goals and an assist for the Guard. They were led by Rachel Clark, who had 3 goals and an assist. Kenzie Kent, 2 goals, 3 assists. Had Casey Choma and Andy Aldave, each with 2 goals. Shay Dolce made 12 saves in the losing effort. For the Charging, Sam Smith, 15 of 29 on faceoffs, 9 ground balls and a goal. Izzy Skane had 4 goals and 3 assists, huge day. Aaron Kuykendall, 3 goals, 3 assists. He had 2 goals each from Meg Carney and Emily Harris-Chuck, as well as Riley Campbell. That's Matt Campbell's sister, by the way, of the Cannons. Had 2 goals, more goals than Matt on the day. I just want to point that out. Madison Doucette, 14 saves. But yeah, big weekend for the Campbells, obviously. And the Charging win the inaugural game, and that's they only play the Guard once, so they already have a tiebreaker there as they head towards the championship or playoff run. The women's teams are only playing, I believe, 4 games, so they're playing one team twice, and then each of the other 2 teams in the league, they play once. And those are kind of scattered throughout the PLL schedule. So look them up. And some of the games later in the year, I believe, are on linear networks for ESPN. So, including the championship game.
Right. Cool. You also had done NCAA, and they're coming up into their big week. Not far away. We had some really barn burner things. Good to see Syracuse back in there, right, Mike?
Yeah, 13-11. They beat North Carolina to advance to Final Four. They'll be playing Notre Dame, who beat Johns Hopkins in the quarterfinals 15-9. And then on the other side of the bracket, you had Duke beating Georgetown 16-6 and Princeton beating Penn State 14-10. So Duke and Princeton next Saturday at noon in one game, and Syracuse and Notre Dame 2:30 on Saturday to see who advances to the finals, which will be Monday the 25th. So
that's just around the corner next week.
Yep.
Monday. No, I don't know if you guys listened last week, but I had Bob Terring and Don Zimmerman. I think between the two of them, they have 6 or 7 NCAA Division I championships. Really great conversation. It's up on our YouTube page as well as all the social media things. Upcoming this coming week, I have Miles General on the show talking about yesteryear, but also talking about a really great project that he is doing up in the on the reservations with his company 7 Sticks, and that is to help a number of the players, former players and current players who have fallen off the path, whether it be through substance abuse or it's been through criminal charges or something like that, and getting them back up with support and weekly meetings and everything else to try and right the wrongs and get things back on track for some of these fine individuals. And I really look forward to I had a great couple of days chatting with him at the Rabeski tournament, so I'm really looking forward to spending some time on the show with him. And then the following Thursday, you guys will love this one, is now newly retired former referee Todd LeBranch will be on the show. So looking forward to talking about his 25-year NLL career, as well as some other things, and get his views on State of the Union and everything else, as well as behind some of the great calls. Because remember, he had some of the best calls we'd ever heard, or none.
Yeah,
and characters are also a part of our game, and wouldn't do without that. Heartbeat. So there's going to be some great shows upcoming. Lots of great guests coming up over the next number of months throughout the summer. So stick with us. And we are your Costco Lacrosse, your one-stop shop for everything you need and you want for lacrosse. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter, X. We are on Instagram. We are on Thread, as well as on YouTube and at www.streampunkentertainment.com. So please check us out a couple of times a day, because the news is always changing. With summer ball just getting in full swing, there are going to be games every single day of the week. Recaps will be up as quickly as we can get them to you. And it should be a blast of a summer. Lots and lots of things upcoming and to do. So that brings us to last words. Shawn, last words to you.
Yeah, I guess first, congratulations to the Toronto Rock for an excellent season, a well-deserved championship, and otherwise, really looking forward to the WLA opening up this weekend, as mentioned before. I was just actually going through this weekend's schedule to look at Friday night. You have the Adnax against the Shamrocks. I mean, if Adnax have Christian Del Bianco and net, that could be a really great matchup. And then the very next night on Saturday, again, the Adnax against the Salmon Bellies. All three of those teams are probably going to be looking at the top of the standings this year. Right off the bat, you got them matched up, which looks like those are going to be really great and a great start to the season.
Excellent. Mike, last words to you.
Yeah, again, congratulations to Toronto. And congratulations to Halifax for showing a lot of grit and toughness.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, basically playing playoff lacrosse for 2 months instead of one.
You want to talk about character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, PLL is obviously off next week, but I'm excited to kind of see that ramp up. Especially again, all the teams are 1-1 right now after 2 weeks of play. So,
Right. I want to bring up one more thing before we sign off. And now Kitchener is the far away front runner for the goal to win the Minto Cup. But did they mortgage their future to 2050? You take a look at this, and I think they gave away 13 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's
and 9 second-round picks. Isn't that insane? Thank you to Loose Mesh Pod for the graphic. This is unbelievable. Even if you do win, then what? The program goes, what you going to do? That's crazy.
Now, is it possible they had some years where they had multiple first-round picks, so it doesn't look as bad as
they would have to? But
like 5 first-round picks.
They're resting a lot on Shognosh, right? Good goalie.
Yeah,
it seems.
But, wow. That's just wild. And there wasn't even anything listed there for the trade of Owen Pana from Coquitlam. So it could be more. Isn't that crazy? I hope for Kitchener's
even
sake.
Further, if they don't win the Minto Cup,
well, then it'll be a colossal bust, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at that and my head just went, what the? I know Doug Arthur very well from our days in Brampton together. And, I know he wants to win. But he's a good lacrosse mind. So, wow. Wow is all I can say on that. But, hey, it is what it is, right? It's going to be interesting, especially if they don't get off to the start that everybody expects.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyways, again, congratulations, Toronto Rock. It's been 15 years. It's about time. I was actually just looking at the Toronto Rock site, and if you want a T-shirt or a cap, it's already up there for sale. So, just in case you're interested.
And one more little thing before we go that I want to throw in: final tally on goals for the NLL season.
Right.
Last year we finished at 3,124 goals scored. This year we did not break 3,000. We finished at 2,993.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Jeez.
131 goals behind last year's pace.
Wow.
And we basically played the same number of games.
Right.
And without that bandit rule.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That was supposed to increase scoring. But then again, nobody expected a goalie like Dobson to have a goals against of 8. Nobody expected Nick Rose, when he came back from an injury, to be lights out for 6 or 7 weeks before the playoffs and put up some remarkable numbers all the way through it. So, yeah, yep. It's interesting.
Yep. Don't forget Warren Hill matching early in the season.
Yep.
Matching that record for goals allowed, fewest goals allowed in a game.
Yep. Interesting. But stick with us, because again, we're going to have everything for you. Remember, if you're in the neighborhood of Bowmanville, Remember, the Gales' big day is next Saturday, and in Peterborough the following Saturday for Lacrosse Day for their champions. So please give them a look if you're anywhere close, because they're going to be great shindigs. Anyways, for Shawn, who's somewhere in Saskatchewan, I'm not sure where. He's just roving around, traveling.
Just outside Saskatoon, but yeah.
He's doing his tour. Yeah. We expect him in Saskatoon during the rush season, not afterwards.
Not after. Yeah, here I am.
You know, we haven't put together the tractors and things like that for the Muffler Mike parade for a while, so Sean's just trying to get it all stirred
Just
back up
tuning
again.
them up, yeah.
Got to do the legwork to get all this together.
I think that's getting retired, just like the chicken wrap counter.
Well, you know, thought I could give it one last kick. You know, I may put this every single week now for the next little while. I'm going to I'm not going to Disneyland. I'm going to go over there and have a rock solid lager or something like that. So 1 year we don't sell rock beer. Imagine that. How about that? Eh? The 1 year we don't have rock
Got rid
beer.
of the turf monster.
Turf monster, yeah.
There's no turf
Curse of
monster.
the turf
No.
monster.
I love that beer. Yep. That's like when they had the Canuck beer from another one, and man, I can drink beer all day long, but that one there, 2 beers and you're seeing like triple. You're actually seeing yourself. You're having an out of body experience while you're sitting there drinking. What's in this stuff? Yeah. Brings you back to the old famous Amos cookies with luck on Taxi, showing my age, with the cocoa leaves in there. I wonder why everybody's enjoying themselves. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for being with us again, and we really appreciate all your patronage and all your support. And we're looking forward to having a great summer with everybody traveling all over the place and games galore. So stick with us. This is when we get really busy. So for Shawn Slaght over in Saskatoon, for Muffler Mike over in Connecticut, I'm Gary Groob in Toronto, celebrating. And we wish you the best of weeks. Remember, keep your sticks high, keep your spirits higher, and until we meet again next week, have a great week. Take care. Rock.